Olá pessoal, eu sou Paulo Alves, editor de criptomoedas do InfoMoney CoinDesk e esse aqui é o Cripto Mais, nosso programa para você que quer saber tudo sobre Bitcoin e outros ativos digitais. Hoje a gente tem uma edição especial. Eu conversei com um trader americano, Tone Vays, um velho conhecido para quem já está há algum tempo no mercado cripto. Ele falou sobre a experiência dele nesse mercado, ele que era um trader do JPMorgan e entrou em Bitcoin já faz algum tempo, ficou famoso há uns anos atrás depois de shortar o Bitcoin, ou seja, apostar contra a alta da criptomoeda. Mas hoje ele se define como um ávido defensor do Bitcoin, alguns chamam ele de maximalista. E ele aproveitou para dizer para mim algumas frases impactantes, como por exemplo sobre o Ethereum. Ele disse que tem chances de cair mais de 90%, entre outras opiniões polêmicas. Bom, na nossa conversa ele também falou sobre os seus piores e melhores momentos como trader e deu dicas para quem quer se aventurar nesse mundo de negociação de criptomoedas. Eu espero que você curta o papo e não esquece de curtir o vídeo e já ativar o sininho para receber as notificações. Confira a entrevista. So today I'm joined here by Tone Vays, known by many people as the world's best trader. So hi Tone, thank you so much for joining us today here.
Hey guys, thank you for having me on. Definitely not the world's best trader, but yes, I do have a pretty popular YouTube channel. And mostly I teach people how to trade these days. I stopped trading, taking a little break from trading, enjoying traveling the world, speaking at conferences here in Brazil, and just having a great time.
Great. Is it your first time in Brazil? What's
It
your first
is.
impressions? What's the first impressions on the local crypto community?
Oh, people are great. Everyone is so nice. A lot of people are creating content, having YouTube channels. Brazil has starting to have very favorable regulation to Bitcoin, so it's really enjoying it.
Great. So every crypto old-timer, of course, knows Tone Vays, but Brazil is full of newcomers to the crypto space. Can you tell a bit about yourself and how you entered in crypto?
So I started hearing about Bitcoin around 2011 when I started listening more to alternative media in order to try and understand politics better. And I kept hearing about Bitcoin on a TV channel called RT, Russia Today. There was a show there by Max Kaiser called the Kaiser Report, and he would talk about Bitcoin all the time. And eventually I started to really look into it.
Okay, so you are a Bitcoin maximalist, right? So can you explain what is a Bitcoin maximalist and why you consider yourself one of those?
I mean, I don't consider myself a Bitcoin maximalist. Other people consider me Bitcoin maximalist, which is fine. I got into Bitcoin because I really believed in the technology, and this technology was going to separate government's control of money, government's control of money creation, government's control of just money in general. And it's a really powerful tool. And I think Bitcoin is secure. Bitcoin is the safest asset I hold because I trust it. But what Bitcoin created gave the ability for any person to change a few lines of code and create their own money. So someone like me got into Bitcoin because I hated the idea that every single government can just create their own money. And all these other cryptos is basically another person having the ability to create their own money. And I just don't think it's going to succeed. I think Bitcoin is the most technologically sound cryptocurrency. I believe Bitcoin is the most secure. And it's also the most, if not the only, decentralized cryptocurrency we have. And the only reason why all of this is possible is because of decentralization. All these other cryptocurrencies, they're either centralized securities or simply a person's attempt to print money. I don't think they have any significant technological innovation. If they have something that's technologically innovative, Bitcoin will simply adopt it. And this is why I think in the future, everyone will utilize Bitcoin just like we all utilize a single internet, we will all utilize a single blockchain, and that blockchain will be Bitcoin.
Okay, so being so long in the market, you certainly saw a lot of ups and downs in Bitcoin price. Uh, what would you say was the hardest moment for you as a trader?
The biggest challenges as a trader come in your very first stages of starting to be a trader. For me, that was long before Bitcoin existed. I started trading in early 2000s, around 2003, 2004. And those were the hardest days. By the time Bitcoin came into my life, I was already a pretty good trader. And those challenges were no longer with me. I already had my risk management under control. I already was in control of my emotions. I knew which time frames, which assets, which markets I'm good at trading and which I'm not. I started focusing on options trading, spread trading with options, and those are the markets I really like trading. I found Bitcoin more interesting as a technology, and the reason why I became popular on YouTube was because I was able to teach how to properly trade any asset. I don't like to think of myself as teaching Bitcoin trading. There's no such thing as Bitcoin trading. There's no such thing as altcoin trading. There's trading. What asset you trade, what time frame you trade, how you trade it. Do you buy the asset? Do you buy the future on that asset? Do you buy an option on that asset? That's a type of trading. That's all up to you. You should learn how to trade and then decide what asset, what time frame, and what tool to trade with. And I just try to teach that. I never want anyone following my trades because what's good for one trader may not work for another. I like teaching the tools and then letting the person decide which method and style works for them.
Yeah, but even the best traders have experienced losses, right? What would you say was your biggest one and how you learned from that?
Well, if you lose too much and you destroy your account, there is no coming back from that. I mean, that's a life lesson that maybe trading is not for you, or you need to regroup, retool, and come back. Trading is a very dangerous profession financially. It's a very hard profession. So coming back from it is very, very hard. The best thing you can do is teach risk management, and hopefully people will, don't learn these valuable lessons by losing a lot of money early on. But most people do. 90% of traders fail because it's such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, well, now the good part. What would you say was your best trade so far in Bitcoin, for example, and how you managed to get it?
So my best trades actually came before Bitcoin in the options market. It's hard to define what the best trade is. I don't define a best trade as the trade that made me the most money. A lucky trade can make you a lot of money. The best trade is the trade that you were absolutely confident in. And for me, it was actually shorting Bitcoin
Really?
in 2018 when Bitcoin was $6,000. Bitcoin had already fallen from $20,000 all the way to 6,000. And my best trade was shorting Bitcoin at $6,000 and watching it fall to 3,000. And that's when a lot of people really started following me because they were making fun of me that this was not going to happen. But I was as sure about that crash in Bitcoin after it had already fallen 70% because of charts, because technical analysis made me very confident in that trade. That was probably one of my more famous ones because the entire world thought I was wrong. And that made it even more satisfying. I hated the fact that the price of Bitcoin fell But if you're mentally ready for that fall, you'll be fine. I've also had very good bullish trades as well for similar reasons. When Bitcoin broke out in 2017 above $3,000 and went to $5,000, that was also one of my best trades. So these kinds of trades, when you are very confident in your technical analysis and your own strategy points to something that you trust, that is the best trade, regardless of how much money it made you. That trade when Bitcoin crashed from 6,000 to 3,000, that trade didn't make me a crazy amount of money, but it was one of my more satisfying trades because everyone thought I was wrong, and I was more confident in that trade than any trade I've done in years because I trusted my charts and my technical analysis.
I can say I never heard Bitcoin maximalists say they are shorting Bitcoin. Would you say it's an indication that you're actually not a Bitcoin maxi?
Well, they're two independent things. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist from a technological perspective and an economic perspective. As a 20-year veteran trader, I separate the two. You can trade any asset you like. You can trade any altcoin that you like. I'm not against that. You can, trade laptops and make money. You got to think of a trade as a trade. It's a way to be wealthier as a trader, and that's all that is. And I separate my view on Bitcoin, the economic innovation, on Bitcoin, the technological innovation, from being a trader. And that trade, I wasn't going to bet all my Bitcoin. And as a hodler, I didn't mind holding the main portion of my Bitcoin through it. It was just a small part of my portfolio just for that desire to still be a trader. When someone's a trader, it doesn't, someone could only trade with 5%, and they should only trade with 5% of their wealth. They shouldn't trade with all their wealth. They should trade with 5% of their wealth. Whether that wealth is only $10,000 or millions of dollars, it's all on a relative percentage basis.
Okay. Well, as I said, many crypto investors in Brazil are newcomers, right? So there's also many people only now starting to look into Bitcoin trading as something they would do for a living. What advice would you give to someone that is entering crypto as a trader right now?
Understand the technology and separate the technology from trading. They're two independent things. Trading is a job. Bitcoin technology, understanding Bitcoin technology is your future. Those that couldn't understand the internet didn't give themselves a better future. If you're a company that didn't understand the internet companies destroyed your business. If you're a person that didn't understand the internet, other people beat you to getting new and better jobs. Understand Bitcoin the technology to better your future, and separate a job of being a trader from understanding the crypto space and understanding these other cryptocurrencies. Also, be very careful. This is a very manipulated space. If you're not going to trade Bitcoin itself, most other assets, they're too small. They're subject to manipulation by people with large amount of money. And unless you have insider knowledge with these chat groups on which token is going to pump, you probably should stay away from that space. I always advise people to trade bigger companies like Apple, the Apples, the Googles, the Amazons. Trade the bigger companies before you start trading the smaller companies, because their volatility may not be the best thing for new incoming traders.
Would you say the same for Ethereum as well, or only smaller cryptos?
Ethereum is a much bigger crypto that moves, but I'm always concerned about Ethereum, the technology. I'm not very confident in Ethereum, the technology. So while Ethereum does trade like a blue chip, like within the crypto space, the probability of Ethereum suddenly falling 95% and never returning to prior high is infinitely higher than it happening in Bitcoin. Even if Bitcoin does fall 70, 80%, I'm confident that it's going to come back to its new all-time high. But Ethereum is just one of the very few altcoins that has fallen 90% and recovered and made new all-time highs. There's almost nothing else that has done it. These new ones like Binance and some of the others, they're pretty new. Ethereum has withstood the test of time and recovered a 90% crash. 99% of all this other stuff in crypto will never ever get back to that all-time high again. And I think eventually, the next time it happens to Ethereum, it's not going to come back to a new all-time high either, because I don't trust the underlying technology. I don't think it's sustainable. And maybe I'm wrong, but this is why I treat Ethereum as something you can trade, but not long-term hold, while Bitcoin is something you should long-term hold more so than you should even trade.
Well, so now I'm sure many people are wondering, what are your thoughts on the market right now? Bitcoin is not in its best days, right? So how long would you say it could take for Bitcoin to hit a new all-time high? Do you see it happening this year?
I think it is going to happen this year. I expected Bitcoin to do very well last year. I still expect it to happen this year. It's early in the year. We're only 4 months into the year. I think it's, at the moment, I am leaning bearish on Bitcoin once again. I think there is a high probability Bitcoin can fall below 30,000, but I also think it's going to reverse very, very quickly. And I do believe that Bitcoin, if it doesn't recapture the prior high of 65,000, 68,000, I think it's going to be very close, and it's going to be on the trajectory higher. So I think that by the end of this year, we will be back in a proper bull market.
So you would say that if Bitcoin falls below 30,000, it will be maybe the greatest buy opportunity of the year.
I believe so. I think this is if Bitcoin falls below 30,000, I think it'll be the last time ever you'll be able to buy it under 30,000. Maybe even under 50,000 while it's here now. The next time Bitcoin breaks that double top of 65 and 68,000, the next time it breaks it, I don't think it's gonna go below 50 ever again.
Great. So, Tone, I guess we are done here. Thank you so much for giving a bit of your time for us. Well, and good luck and have a safe trip home.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.